Up Your Life with Michael and Casey Tice.
Hey, welcome back to Ticed Up Your Life podcast, where we reimagine travel and recharge your life with discovery, unforgettable experiences. I'm your host, Michael Tice, and today we're diving into something a little different and very, very close to my heart. We're talking about study abroad, and not just anywhere, but in the lush, vibrant, awesome, beautiful country of Costa Rica. So joining us for this is going to be a longtime friend, somebody I met a long time ago in college, and he's been making this dream a reality for students. So let's all welcome Dr. John Phelps.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, John, thank you for joining us. Definitely excited we're here to talk about your study abroad program and kind of share the ins and outs of the program, what makes Costa Rica so special, and why traveling, especially through education, can absolutely change somebody's life. So Uh, before we get started, can you, tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself to the world. I know you as John, but Dr. Phelps, uh, give us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so my background's in healthcare. I started off as a paramedic. I went into the Army as infantry. Straight out of the Army, I went back to being on a box, or on the ambulance, as we call it, a box, hanging out, working, and continuing my education through a lot of facets throughout my career, as far as going into emergency management. And into hospital director to educator to what I'm doing now, negotiating clinical contracts to consultant. So um, right now I'm a professor at Our Lady of the Lake University in the business department. As I said, my background's in healthcare, so my graduate degree, my master's, is in healthcare administration, and a doctorate specializing in healthcare admin. So um, that's my background. I love healthcare. I love learning with students. I love the business world, for that matter. And so being able to work and have the opportunity to work with students who are majority first gen students at our university, as well as being a Hispanic serving institute, is held in my heart. You know, it's I see myself, a younger version of myself in them, as I saw my trials and tribulations that I had to go through my education and professional career to what got me to where I'm at. And so guiding them to success is my success, is what I often tell them. So it's a little bit about me. And work as a consultant as well, working with major corporations and companies, and working with manufacturing of medical equipment to research and study on specific technological products, and study of medicine and pharmaceuticals and things like that. So
Yeah,
well
awesome.
versed, and it keeps me humble, but also keeps me youthful to bring the reality to the classroom.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got tons of knowledge. I saw that on this trip. It was, the kids love you. It was such a good time. It really was. And it's amazing how far we've come since two young college kids up in Lubbock, Texas, right? Recon Tech. And now, let's kind of dive into your study abroad program. So, what was your original vision for this, and what inspired you to launch it?
Well, I'll tell you, my original vision was to just provide an opportunity to students. One thing that I often got or heard my feedback from my students is they're learning a lot of theory and not getting a lot of hands-on. And so I started diving into local organizations to get that hands-on real-world application. I can do real-world application in the classroom, but we all know it's a little bit different when you actually go to the organization and see that. And so an opportunity that I thought of was to, what about, let's take these students to another country and really see what it's like, because there's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of differences, and in some ways it'll humble you and to what's going on overseas, and so what can we bring back. And so that really was my goal. In also study support, that students who graduate, who've completed a study abroad tour, have a higher likelihood of obtaining a job after completion of their degree. And so that's really my goal, is to equip our students with um, the skills and tools they need to get that higher level job, whatever they seek, whatever industry they seek, that they go out and leave the university prepared.
Awesome. So, for anyone listening who's curious about a study abroad program and how it actually works, can you kind of give us an overview of the program and what the goals and why you chose Costa Rica as a destination?
Yeah, so the goals are, right. You want to identify companies or organizations that will meet your student learning outcomes or visions, right? And so I developed student learning outcomes and ensure that I could find some organizations that will meet those. So I think it's real key to work with somebody such like yourself, Michael, to help identify those skills that you helped me. I told you what I needed, and you went out there to get it. And so I provided you with the information that I was looking for, the organizations, and what I want our students to learn. And you were able to go out and identify and find us the organizations. Why Costa Rica? As you know, a lot of college kids aren't rich, and so we needed to identify a country, one that would help us and get there, but also one that would be some cost or be affordable to our students. And so had several options, but Costa Rica was one that our administration felt safe with, and frankly, our faculty felt safe with taking a group of students to. But also in review that Costa Rica tended to give us the biggest bang for our buck, if you will, to provide us the most opportunity at the time when we were searching it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we dive into too many of the highlights of the trip, because that's where all the good stuff is, right? Um, so one of my favorite parts of travel is how much it teaches us, and you've kind of already touched on that some. It's not just about what you learn in the world, but we learn more about ourselves. What are some of the key benefits that you see in students who study abroad, maybe personally, academically, and even professionally? To kind of give that out to our students.
The benefits come from the hand-on experience. That's where they get the benefit from. They actually get to see what we teach them, what our faculty teaches them, and see it into play. But not only that, one thing that I also find interesting and find that I want to tie to is understand of the different components. Because oftentimes I get feedback from our students that could be lost in, well, why do we have to take this gen ed class, this English or this history or this math or science? Um, I want to be a business. I want my degree in business. So why do I have to take it? And so connecting those two and the importance highlights the importance of understand for science and the different gen ed courses. For example, on our study abroad tour, we were able to connect the effects of how chocolate affects the human anatomy, the brain, and the serotonin and dopamine receptors, which in turn release it of endorphins. And so by understanding that process, we're able to navigate business and identify that, hey, if we can create a natural high with a product such as chocolate, then people want more of it. We're making them feel good about themselves. And so that's the science aspect of, so if I make them feel good about themselves when they come into my restaurant or when they come in to my business by providing them chocolate, they're going to want to, one, either come back or they're also going to, I want to order more as the feel good is starting to crash. And so that's a way we play business. There's a science in business. And that's one of those factors that I tied in. So I think they benefit from that, to being able to actually see that connection, but also seeing a benefit of how other countries are running their businesses and leaders, to see different leadership, different leadership. Yeah, different leadership styles, so that they can apply to their organization when they come back.
Yeah, and definitely, and you did a very good job of tying all that together. I mean, I was not in the class, but I attended to try to make sure we had everything running smooth, and I learned so much. I really did. Uh, Not enough for me to want to go back to school just yet, but I did enjoy quite a bit of it. And with that, let's kind of talk about some of the fun stuff. What were some of your standout moments from this trip? I know we did all kinds of different businesses that we went and looked at. You want to touch on a few of those, and maybe we had a lot of cultural moments that we learned as well, and uh, let's talk about some of these little details here, and I'll kind of let you guide us through that. And I do have some pictures we could pop up on some of the ones that that we talked about.
Yeah, so what stood out to me the most was probably the people, for one. We have culture. Culture is what uh, everyone needs to learn. We need to understand culture of business. That's the most critical piece to international business. The course that I was teaching on this was an international business course, and so being able to go in um, and be with the people, not just the people of the country, but also the people, my students, to be able to be one with them, get to know them personally, as well as these folks. I mean, we got to see wonderful organization and meet wonderful people such as Marco Polo that was just up on the screen, that we got to meet, and going to these different factories, to his different companies, and being able to see how it operates, and how he treated his employees like family.
Mhm.
So it's not just the country culture, but it's also the organizational culture that really was a highlight to see, and in many ways humbled me and reinforced why I teach and why I put together this study abroad trip, because it's one that's a memorable one for the books. We got to go to coffee plantations, to a chocolate factory, to pineapple plantations, to understanding and learning, teamwork through river raft, to learn and reinforce that, hey, every business we have to, each department has to work as a team. Everyone, we are a team if we're going to be able to achieve success. And so even that, the Frutaya company, to gosh, I mean, to Planet Hollywood, a meeting with their executive team, just the opportunities that we had to introduce these folks and really stand out for all of them really meant a lot, and provided that experience that will never be forgotten. This will always be my first team to take over on an international study tour that from Our Lady of the Lake University, and it'll I'll always remember this.
A good picture of you right there in front of that church.
Wings
Uh,
up. Yeah.
no, that was one of those. This wasn't scheduled for us, and we had such a good job with Marco Polo and the guide, Ronnie. Ronnie was amazing. He was on our last podcast, so we had all that, and you know, they just kind of threw that in there, and that was another cultural immersion for us. That's not a place that's on a tour for most people to go to that aren't local. So that was really cool to see. I mean, we had so much learning there. There was not um, it wasn't really a vacation. It was definitely a trip. I mean, we worked.
Yeah, for sure. But they always say, it's not work if you're having fun. And I'll tell you what, the people is what made it fun for me. The students, the folks that we met. I mean, it truly was. We would go to the hotel every night, and I was exhausted. The other students were exhausted. We were wore out. The heat, the humidity, right, and the environment. But I'll tell you what, every morning I woke up with a smile on my face because I got to see somebody different, meet somebody new. The people there were just so welcoming, and much like family members. So it really made the trip. The people and the culture.
Yeah, and culture wise, some of the things we had done that was really kind of not scheduled, but we had fun with it. Going downtown to local markets.
Hmm.
Uh, that was interesting. I think we had a little competition to see who would buy the weirdest thing at the market, or at least asked everybody. 90% said you, uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't
but
know if I did buy the strangest thing
you
there.
didn't actually. It was one of the students that surprised us all. Right? I
Yeah.
call it a paddle, but I think it was a cutting board. But uh, it was kind of funny. It was a good one. And then I think I've got another picture in here of us on let's see, the public transportation. That was something that was new and different, and we
Yeah,
don't
I thought
really.
that was interesting, man, because the students, we gave them the option. How do we want to get back to our hotel? And unanimously, they all wanted to take the public transportation and see how it worked, right, and become one with them. Hey, even better. So I thought that was a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
riding the city bus.
Oh yeah, and they're good kids. I mean, really good kids, students. They're adults. So, but it was a great time, and with that, we'll talk a little bit more about Costa Rica because we talked about all the educational values and the different things, and visiting these factories and watching how these businesses work. And shout out to Marco Polo there at BNC Exporters. He brought us in and did such an amazing job that really blew my mind on learning business and seeing it. So from a business owner that I'm like, oh wow, okay. And then we were able to collaborate. So it was really great. Uh,
Yeah.
so Costa Rica is not just good for students, though. It's also a paradise known for travelers that are of all different kinds. So, um, for those who are thinking of visiting Costa Rica, what are some of the incredible stuff that you saw there that maybe people want to look at when they go to Costa Rica?
Definitely, I'd go to, one thing that I was concerned about going there was the changing hotels. We stayed 11 days in Costa Rica. And so, we changed hotels. We stayed 4 nights in San Jose, 3 nights in Arenal, and 3 nights in Guanacaste. And so, one thing I was worried about is, man, we're going to be changing hotels. It's going to be kind of a pain. And actually, it was very rewarding. And I would encourage everyone because we got to see the different ecosystems that Costa Rica provides and has. And so, we were able to see organizations in the different ecosystems and how they function differently. And so going to Arenal and being able to be in the tropical environment, if you will, where San Jose, where we were in the urban environment, and then Guanacaste, more the I would say more tourist spot. We saw in the dry lands, and so in the beach you see there. So being able to go to the different aspects of and see the different ecosystems is what I would encourage travelers to do, is to uh, don't limit yourself to just one. Costa Rica has so much to offer than just going to the beach, what maybe a lot of tourists go for. There's hands down. So, San Jose provides its own unique experience, and then Arenal is the same way, and Guanacaste. So I'll tell you, when I go back, if I go with my family, and I'll tell you, we're going to go and hit up the different ecosystems because I mean, that I learned so much from that, being able to travel throughout, and really didn't find it burdensome. And the feedback that I got from students was the same. After action review, after we completed the study tour, it was asked of them, would you have rather stayed in one city or move locations? And unanimously, they want to change locations because they really got more out of it, or they felt they got more out of it than staying in one location, such as San Jose or Arenal or Guanacaste.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much to do in Costa Rica, and from my side as a travel advisor, I'll tell you, some of the things when people look at Costa Rica, the all inclusives are kind of pretty much in the Guanacaste area, which is the beach location. When you think all inclusives, you think of beach, but really moving to Arenal, which is one place that I had never really heard of, and we did, well, you guys did a zip lining, right? So, and the suspension bridges. So I got a couple of pictures of you having a good time on the zip line there. That was after a long day of visiting stuff, and we ran out there, and students were troopers on that one. They got out there, and we had some horseback riding. I don't know if I've got a picture of that in here, but uh, and then kind of hike the mountain. I went and hiked the mountain with some of the students, and or not the mountain, sorry, the volcano. That picture I showed earlier, that's the volcano erupting there. That's smoke coming out of there from the volcano erupting. So it's another cool thing. That was in the San Jose area. So,
Mhm.
and wildlife, right? But you can't forget about someone of the students took a great picture here, which they provided to me, which was awesome, of a waterfalls, right? Waterfalls, wildlife. So we got pictures of bats here that we saw while we were rafting. The toucan. I mean, we got toucan. We got a sloth here, which you pointed out on tour. You spotted it out of nowhere, and we stopped the tour thing and the visit to the company, and we went back and well, sure enough, we were able to find it and just wildlife in general. And then doing those different things. Plus, I was able to go scuba diving when we got to Guanacaste, and I dove in the Pacific for the first time. So I saw all kinds of sharks and turtles and manta rays and things that I haven't seen before diving. So, and then of course in the uh, International region, there's the mountains, and then you've got that one church what we talked about earlier. Um,
Yeah.
and then San Jose, we were able to stop and look at the I can't say the name of that where the Basilice, uh, the Catholic church there. I can't think of the name of it. It's very famous there in Costa Rica. But we were able to go in, and they were having, you know, they had confession and other things going on all the time, which is very, very awesome to see and very humbling too. So definitely such a good location for those things. Plus that rafting tour was fun. It really was. I forgot to talk about the crocodiles that we saw there. Wasn't expecting that at first, and that was fun. So thank God nobody fell in the water there. Uh, so for anyone that's looking for their next adventure, study abroad or vacation, let's talk about what a travel advisor is, how it's a total game changer for you, and kind of from expert planning to insider stress and free support advisors from Ties Up Your Life Vacations take all that guesswork out of travel, right? So, how important was it for you using Ties Up Your Life Vacation for this program, and what would you tell listeners who have not used a travel advisor before?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a lot easier and more smoother by having a travel advisor leaning on you to help fix those and making it stress free as far as getting all those taken care of. Anyone knows that has traveled with a large group, and we have a large family and traveling with them, that how difficult it is to make those reservations for meals and plan out everything as far as going to organizations and whatnot. So it really made it easy and streamlined the process to where I just gave you my wish list basically, and you went and made it happen and come back. And we truly worked as a team, as in, hey, this isn't going to work, or hey, can we do something different this day, or whatever. And so we made it work, and you made it work. Really, I just kind of threw out my wish list, and I did all the back end work, right, making it happen at the university, and you did all the front end work, making it happen in the country, and making sure we had the transportation set up and everything went well to the hotels and the meals. So, to have a travel advisor, I wouldn't do another study abroad without a travel advisor. Um, there's so much to having, so much advantage, and, the stress free worries, like I mentioned, to having a travel advisor to make that trip very easy and smooth going for us. So, that's definitely changed my mind to forever have a travel advisor for any of our trips.
I love that. I love that. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad that we were able to definitely make this happen. The one thing I don't like doing is saying no, right? I hate to say no to clients, but there were a few things I did tell you no on, like that. We can't do that. It's just not possible.
Mhm.
But there was very, very few. And you're right. We worked together as a team on that one. And that's what your travel advisor is to people is it's a teammate. It's your, I don't want to call it a secretary because it's more of a team. You tell me what you want. I'm going to go make it happen. And,
Mhm.
everybody at Ties Up Your Life Vacations has that mindset, and it was wonderful. Like when we first started talking about this, you're like, "You ever done this before?" I was like, "Nope," but we're gonna figure it out. And we went and I think we knocked it out of the park. I'm kind of nervous that we set the bar so high on the first one. And again, shout out to Ronnie. Ronnie really, stepped up and was amazing. I can't wait to send people to Ronnie. Um, to let them experience him. He really was fantastic in his knowledge, and I had a good time hanging out with them and getting to know them, and uh, because of those experiences. So thankfully, we got that one going, and now I know I have Ronnie there, so I can pass you off in good hands because your travel advisor doesn't always go with you on a trip, right? That would be crazy. But the first one, it was fun to go, and um, the so with that, let's kind of transition to for any students who are on the fence about attending a travel abroad program. What would you say to encourage them, and why is now the time to take the leap? Because we have some stuff coming up that we'll talk about that this might be inspiring to them.
Yeah, so the opportunity alone, to give them the opportunity, the networking opportunity to meet new people, work around people, the different cultures. I mean, there's no experience like it. And what I say is talk to somebody who's been on a study abroad, whether it's a faculty member, it's other students. Speak with them, let them share their experiences, because those will speak for itself. It's always hard to be the first one to go, but once you go and others go, that word of mouth is just going to spread like wildfire, especially in a university, a smaller setting. And so at the university, I think seek out those people, ask questions. A lot of your faculty and professors have done study abroads or been part of them, whether students or faculty in their career. And so asking and seeking advice and getting direction or finding that mentor will help guide them through and feel much safer. Because, right, a lot of students who may never have ever done a study abroad may have that hesitancy or fear of, well, it's a new country. I've never maybe even traveled. We took students on this trip that have never traveled before. And so being able to work with them and provide that comfort, I'm here for you, um, to work with you through it and to hold your hand through the process. You will be fine. And then when they go, it's like any study abroad experience I can go on from now on, I'm doing it. So
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And so with that, we had a successful trip, and you're right. I think 80% of our students had never really left Texas. Maybe have gone to Mexico right there at the border, but most of them
yeah,
had not left even Texas, let alone the United States. So it was surreal. It was awesome, and asking some questions and with the way they did with their studying, it was great to see. So um, with that, I mean, what's the plans? What's the future so far looking like for a study abroad program?
man, I'll tell you, we're looking to do one next year. So we're looking to go right back to study abroads. I took my boss on this trip with me so she could see the outcomes and the experience and uh, the opportunities that it gave the students. And so we're going to continue to move forward with continued planning and hopefully make this an annual basis a trip. Of course, all things go much like anything through administration and whatnot to get approvals, but we got full administrative support to continue on and push through to continue to make these happen. And the goal is to grow and make some multidisciplinary approach to work with other departments. As I shared earlier, gen ed, we all connect and intertwine, and there's things that we need to know about gen ed that are important and how it links to business or even information technology to biology to history. And so by providing a multiple disciplinary program, we'll be able to um, expand and be able to grow the program even further and provide the experience and opportunity to more than just business folks.
So with that, this program was fully funded by the students, right? We had to create it to make it affordable for them. And for
Absolutely.
people that are listening to us and listening to this podcast, what are ways that they can help contribute to the education of these students to, from this, HSI University, and how to help kind of get as many kids to learn with this experience? So how could they contribute to help with this program?
Man, I'll tell you, for our program specifically, reach out to myself or you to connect me so we can provide. That being said, we are a private university at Our Lady of the Lake University, and so we are a 501c3, so it is tax exempt. So folks can make donations of any amount that can help make this affordable to students. And so with donations is what will help keep this, the study abroad going, but also provide this opportunity to as many students who are able to come and be able to join. It'll help reduce costs to allow more students to be able to have that opportunity to go. I know we struggled with this first one and reaching out and students identifying and trying to find donations, but we were able to find some that did help reduce the cost for students to be able to take this trip that otherwise wouldn't have been able to go on it. So donations to Our Lady of the Lake University would be amazing to help continue this, or any local study abroad program at an university or educational institution.
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, I really appreciate you and thank you for letting me be the one to plan this. It was when we first had the idea, it seemed crazy and people probably thought we were crazy. And then watching it turn into this beautiful thing that's hopefully going to stick around for years. We are working on the next ones. Costa Rica is still an option. We're looking at other places that we might be able to go and working with other organizations as well, hopefully. And I mean, just growing. And I think we come up with ideas and you and I work really well together. It's probably that long time friendship that we've had. And we throw ideas out there and we try to turn them into reality to improve students. And thank you so much for your passion. Thank you for coming on the show with us today. And if you're listening, please reach out to me, reach out to the university, ask for Dr. Phelps here and see what you can do. Any donation will help towards these children to make sure these kids, so they don't have to, they're coming out of pocket. And let's give them an awesome education and give them something that, to give back. That 501c3 is very important to tax write-offs for businesses. So if this really touched your heart and you wanted to find a way to get back to the community, please reach out and I can get you in contact with Dr. Phelps here and for this program. But John, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the time, and I look forward to continuing to do this next one with you. It'll be interesting. We made a good video that we'll probably share here soon once it's finally done with its final edits. But it's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been a journey, and hope to continue to keep riding through it, man. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. We'll catch up with you soon, John.
All right, later.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the program, guys. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm glad that you guys were able to meet John. It's been great. And again, if you're interested in contributing to that program, reach out to me. I can give you John's contact information. Again, those students, I learned a lot from them. We had such a great time. Don't forget to follow us on social media, like us on all the different platforms. If you like this video, smash subscribe. Let's hear from you. Let's comment. Let us know, what was your travel experience that you did study abroad program, and what were some of the things that impacted your life? What were the things that you were glad you did? Let us know. Share it in the comments. Reach out to us. Till then, keep exploring, keep learning, and tice up your life.